Welcome to the Joy of Coding. Hello, and welcome to episode 162 of The Joy of Coding. I'm not 100% sure this is working. I'm trying to broadcast. The encoder is apparently overloaded. Hopefully this isn't too rough a broadcast. So I'm trying something brand spanking new today. I'm sending all of my video input through a separate device. I've got this like video capture card, and so I've got a whole completely new video setup here where I've got like a separate machine talking to OBS, or like a whole separate machine running OBS and capturing my desktop, which I'll share in just a second. And I have no idea whether or not this is going to work. I have not done any testing whatsoever. So if things go wrong, that's okay. We're just trying it out, and we'll make adjustments as we go. Make sure to give me feedback where you can. Let's take a quick peek at my desktop here. Let me just remember how to do all this. Boom. Okay, so this is episode 162 of The Joy of Coding. I apologize if I seem a little discombobulated. Because it's a new setup and everything's new, things have moved around. Normally, like the thing that I use to control OBS is over here, and now it's over here, and all things have been rearranged. There's a little bit of a delay, I think, just from watching my mouse move. Like, I'm moving my mouse to the top of the screen now, and then there's like half a second where it shows up in OBS. So I have a feeling there's a little bit of a delay that we're gonna have to get used to. I might be able to adjust that. I'm gonna have to study some OBS settings, but everything's brand new, and I'm just learning how to work this rig. So hopefully it'll be okay. Where are we? Well, so episode 162, especially today, no plan survives breakfast. Things might go horribly wrong. Things might go off the rails. I'm using, like, the machine that's running OBS might not be able to keep up. Right now it's running at 78, it's eating up 72% of its CPU, and it might lag. The stream might be bad quality. I apologize. I'm also recording at the same time that I'm streaming, so hopefully at the very least, if the stream doesn't work out, we'll have a recording. I'll have a recording I can study, and maybe in the future, like for next week, we'll make it better. But at any rate, no plan survives breakfast. If things go wrong, that's okay. It's all right. That's kind of how all of this stuff works. It's not really planned. It's very off the cuff. I don't have a preset of of solutions for what I'm doing with The Joy of Coding today. Like, I'm not. I'm going to be working on bugs, and I don't exactly know how they're going to pan out, and that's all right. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there is actually an episode guide for The Joy of Coding. It's completely viewer maintained and driven. If that is a thing that interests you, let's check it out right now. We can open up the episode guide. Whoops, it opened in a separate window. Let's bring it over here. Joy of Coding episode guide. Yeah, I worry that that's going to be a problem where like everything that I want to open is going to be over here. Hopefully not. Let's try another link. Let's open up another link. Okay, good. It'll open over here now. That's good. Right, because I wanted this window. I guess it's all about the last focused window. So maybe that's what I need to do. At any rate, so the Joy of Coding episode guide is completely viewer driven. We've got up to episode 60. I actually think 161 is waiting for me to merge a pull request. I have not done that yet. I apologize. Might as well, I think it's tradition. Might as well just do that right now. But each of these episodes, like if you click on the episode guide, has a lot of interesting stuff in it that viewers have contributed. Not only links to the agenda and the video, but also some of the bugs I covered, some of the stuff I talked about, and extra links that you might find handy. So let's go to the GitHub repository. What's particularly exciting about the new setup is that I'm actually running a build in the background, and it is flying by. Like, I can tell that this is going a lot faster. This is a full clobber build, and before I would have to run OBS on the same machine that I was doing a clobber build on, and that was usually pretty expensive. So now I'm able to do that separately, which is nice. I just worry that maybe I need to have a more powerful machine actually doing the broadcast. But at any rate, let's take a look at this pull request. So this was for episode 161, and then it also includes a fix for 160. Aha, so it looks like the Evernote agenda, right, so SmurfD linked to it from YouTube as opposed to linking directly from Evernote, linking to Evernote. So we supplied a fix there. I think that makes sense. And then the new episode, he's got the links here, and then, you know, Happy New Year, and then the links to the notes, the bugs. Episode ended with a kernel panic. Yeah, that's right. I did end with a kernel panic. That was one of the primary reasons why I decided to switch to this new mechanism, is because I'm pretty sure I overheated my CPU. It's really warm in this room, and I don't know why the AC doesn't work in here, but or I guess the AC is not on because it's wintertime, but it gets really, really hot in here. And I also keep the door closed because I don't want to bug people in the rooms around me because I talk out loud so much. But because I've got so much machinery in here, it gets really warm, and I have a feeling my processor got really hot, and then I kernel panicked because it just overheated. Like, there's a I've got this application now that watches my kernel temperature, or my processor temperature. Now I'm at a smooth 58. Before I was at like a 70 something and 80 something. It was getting really bad. My fans were maxing out and it couldn't keep up. So now I'm at a healthier temperature, and I think that's gonna keep me from kernel panicking like last week. Okay, so this all looks good. I'm going to merge this stuff in. Thanks to SmurfD as usual. Thanks, SmurfD. Excellent as usual. Great job. Great job. Let's see. Now that that's done, let's go to what we're working on today. Well, first of all, if the episode guide is interesting to you, there is, well, you can click on, I didn't even bring up the agenda. I told you I'm a little discombobulated today. So the episode guide, all of the stuff that's in here is probably more useful to you if you can actually click on the links. And so the agenda that we're looking at is something that you have access to, depending on where you are. So for example, if you are on Air Mozilla, it's in the handouts section. I just realized now that the handouts are out of date though. I have to copy those over. One moment, I'm just gonna quickly hand bomb an update there. And same thing with the rate this episode link. This is something I forgot to do. Let me just update those. Boom, done. So if you're not watching this on Air Mozilla, maybe you're watching this on YouTube, check out the video description. That should have the video, the agenda, and the link to the rate this episode. And if you're watching this on Twitch, because I know some of you watch on Twitch, I hear it's quite popular. I'm going to drop it into the Twitch chat right now. Booyah shaka. There's the agenda. It's in the Twitch chat. Check it out. And you can click on these links and follow along with me as I go on things, go in on things. Right. So what are we working on today? Well, first of all, I'm going to do my best effort on a self-check here. We are recording. Hopefully, we are streaming. Yes, I believe you can hear me. I can see the VU meter maxing out there. Hopefully, I'm not too loud. If I am, let me know in the chat. I'm going to also check to see whether or not. How do I see the? Whoa. Sorry, I think I was boosting my volume there. Didn't want to do that. What I really want to do is make sure that you can hear the sound effects. I've got Wacky Morning DJ running in the background. Let me just, boom, that might be a little loud. I'm just going to bring that down a little bit, just in case I decide to play a loud sound like oh, what's a good one? One of my favorites is the air horn. So hopefully you can hear that. The way I've rigged things up, I can't actually hear that. I'm going to need like the sounds coming out via HDMI into the recording machine, so I can't actually hear. I don't even know why I have this headset on. There's no point in me having this headset. I'm just going to take this off. for now because there's no sound coming out. So I'll just take that off. It's probably weird for you to see me without my headset. All right, so that's enough of a self-check. If there's anything going horribly wrong, do let me know inside the IRC channel. There's the #LiveHacking IRC channel on irc.mozilla.org, and there's the Twitch chat. I'm monitoring both. I'll glance over from time to time like this, and then we can see what we can do to solve any problems you might be having. So what do I want to work on today? Well, first of all, I want to quickly address something that we had talked about last week, that we'd been working on last week, and that is this promise document flush callbacks. We were trying to come up with a good test case for subframes. I did it. I pulled it off. But it was a little more complicated than I thought. So this is actually something we might work on today because I believe sounds are there, says Smurf D. Good. Let me know if the lag is too brutal. So this is something that I got review on, and I might be able to just land this today. I have some fixes to do on the regression test, so that's maybe the first thing we can start with, and then we'll work on other things. But what happened was I was trying to create a regression test, and I think the problem was that I don't remember what the problem was, but I ended up creating the regression test, and it's right here. I'll show you how it works. So what we do is we create a new tab, and we open up About Robots in it, About Mozilla in it, because that is supposed to load in a non-remote browser. So it's in process, and that's important for Promise Document Flush because it only works with in-process frames. Or rather, like the subframe feature will only work with in-process frames. And then we created an iframe that went into the into About Robots. So we nested another About Robots inside of About Robots, and I inserted it, and I waited for that to load. And then what I did was I got the inner one of the inner elements. I made sure it existed, and then on the outer iframe, I made sure that we didn't need to do any reflows. And then I set a style, like I changed the width on one of the inner frames elements, and I made sure that there were no flushes required on outer content, but there were flushes required on the inner content. And then I made sure that Promise Document Flush does not cause a rectangle, like a flush to occur whenever I'm querying the inner content for its rect. And that's because Promise Document Flush, with the other patch in the stack, waits until all subframes are also ready to are also in the state where they don't require flushes. Now my build just failed. Let's take a look and see what went wrong there. Let's pump up the text so you can see what's going on. The build failed. I was actually building, what was I building? Why is it failing? Warning, warning, warning. Lots of warnings. Not very clear why the build failed. Usually whenever the errors occur, a write error. Write error. I don't know what that could be about. Let's try building again. Let's just see what happens if we just try it again. Since you're watching Smurf D, let me know if the audio is too out of sync with the video. Like if it's clear that there's delay, do let me know. So yeah, a lot of pixels are now being captured by my HDMI recorder. It is saying that there's the encoder is overloaded. So maybe I might need a more powerful machine to handle all the pixels. So what I'll do is I'll actually give it a break by switching to this instead, which is more stable and there are less pixels moving around, and hopefully that will cause less overhead. So I got some feedback on the test, and the feedback was from my reviewer Heis, and he said, well, it's a little hard to read because for some reason Fabricator hides comments after I've updated the patch, or at least like it kind of makes them ghostly. So this is a little hard to read, but I'll read it for you. He says, comment and URI seem out of sync. And he's right, because I had loaded About Mozilla, and my comment was About Robots. If you could, it would be helpful if you used the BTU helpers to add or remove a specific test page. This is because ultimately I'd like to move about Mozilla and about robots and all of it over to living in the content process. Every test that depends on things like this ultimately makes that harder. So there is a way that I can quickly register an about page. Oh. That's amazing. I didn't realize that there's an about page registration helper now. Let's take a look at how it works. Meanwhile, my build completed, so I don't know what happened with the other time I tried to build. Weird. All right, so register about page. Registers an about page with particular flags about the parent and any content processes. Returns a promise that resolves when registration is complete. The test framework doesn't keep its cleanup stuff anywhere accessible, so the first argument is a reference to your cleanup registration function, allowing us to clean up after you if necessary. The name of the about page, the URI the about page should point to, the about module flags to use for registration. Okay, great. And then what he recommends is this function to clean it up and parent document flushed. And register cleanup function. Let's see an example of this being used in the wild. Register cleanup function. Is there a where is register cleanup function? Oh, I see. So register cleanup function is the I'm watching it on Twitch in full screen. So Smurfy says the video is quite hacky when I was building. It's also a bit hacky right now. So I assume by hacky you mean like janky, like it's a bit like and maybe was I dropping frames? Like are you seeing a spinny? That's what I want to know. Or is it just like big blocks of pixels? Do let me know. So register cleanup function is actually a global that's available to us. I forgot that it was. And what it's doing is it's saying, hey, well, hang on. Right, so it's saying pass a function that when called will cause the about page to be cleaned up. All right, that makes sense. So what I'll do is register cleanup function, remove about page registrations is an async function. Register cleanup function. It's an async, so it is past an async function. So yeah, register cleanup function is probably no block of pixels but not a smooth video. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with that if you can. I mean, who wants to see like all that stuff go by anyways? So let's do it. Heist recommended. I do like the idea of making the code less or more resilient to changes down the line whenever it's clear that like we're going to be like if we're ever going to be migrating about pages off of the main thread or out of the parent process, then like being resilient to that in the future is a good idea. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we can push that up and then land it. You can see how we land patches these days. I don't know if I've ever shown Lando on the stream. I think I probably have, but just in case. Where am I? This test is called browser promise document flushed, and it's down here. And what he's saying is we're forcing a non-remote browser by loading forcing a non-remote browser here. This is so that we can easily load some subframes that could theoretically cause a flush to occur in the parent process. So URI, I'm going to call it, let's take another look at how this is used out in the wild. Just our about page, and then a link to where it goes. Dummy page. Yeah, use that. Const dummy dummy page equals that, and then we will register await browser test utils.register about page, and we're going to pass it register cleanup function as the function to clean up with, and then we're going to also pass it what did he recommend I call it? Parent document flushed. That's not a bad name. Or maybe promise document flushed. Let's also save that as a variable because I'm going to be using it in a couple places. Page equals parent document flushed. Const about page name, and then about page equals about, and then we'll interpolate page name. Cool. And then we're gonna say we're gonna bring in page name, and then must run. So basically I want everything for about Mozilla, whatever about Mozilla had. So ns about module, where is it? About module, is it in here? No. Let's find all the instances of NSI about module. I think it's under doc shell. Doc shell as about redirector. Here it is. So there should be, yeah, here, and then safe for untrusted content. Or maybe I won't give it any flags, just 0. I wonder if that's enough. And then do I have to pass it anything else? Page URI, flags, no. Oh, I do have to pass in the page URI, which is the dummy page. We're gonna need a comma there. Does that take me over? No, it does not. So I'll do it this way. Okay. So we're going to send it to the about page. So now let's see if the test works. First of all, I have to rebuild. I feel like there's like a bandwidth problem when I'm maybe there's like, I don't know, I think there are artifacts inside the sound effects. This does not bode well for running Wacky Morning DJ on my MacBook here. I might actually have to run it on the device that I'm streaming from. That's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, but building nice and fast. Let's run this test. DOM, base, test, browser, promise document flush. Let's see what it says. It's kind of nice to not have to wear the headset. I can get used to this. But then I'm not going to hear things like bloops from people pinging me in IRC because it's not coming in very loud on this little... uh-oh, that's not good. URI is not defined. Aha, I screwed up. Where is URI? Aha, about page. Let's try that again. SmurfD says that my hi-oh sounded more like a yodel, like oh. That's not really a yodel. So this failed because there's no target. So I should probably point it at wherever About Mozilla is. Redirector. Unless, hold on, what's in the example page? Let's await new promise resolve, because it could be anything. Resolve 5,000. All right, so we're gonna have it wait 25 seconds before failing, and then I'm gonna only run this test. And then let's run it, and we'll use the JS console, and we're gonna inspect the inside of it, this page, a yodel. That's what it is, JS debugger. That's a yodel. Okay, so here's the browser window. I don't know why it showed up over there, but this is the page. And then, is there what's an element I could hook up for just like the body? I'll just grab the body element. Inner doc dot body. Let's try that. It's running over here. Oh, and I still have the I'll do it in headless mode. It liked it. Now let's run it in normal mode, and then we'll run it with verify and make sure it's gonna last. Yeah, it ran properly. Let's verify it. Then we can upload that puppy. What's particularly nice, oh, you know what else we should do actually, is not only run this test. There. And while we're doing that, let's take a look at my CPU usage on this machine. Nightly is what's taking up all my CPU right now because it's running all these tests. Nightly is not my nightly, but the test nightly. And it's just running a bunch of stuff. That's not super surprising. And otherwise, my CPU is doing all right. CPUs are not maxed out, and that feels pretty good. Okay, so this looks like it's more or less ready to roll. So I will, once this finishes verifying, I'll upload it and attach it to the bug, and then we'll land the patches. Actually, what I should do is pull and rebase, then upload the patches. Should I? I should make sure that it rebases properly. But I don't think I need to do a full rebuild after the fact. Then I can land this. And then the last thing to land is the bug that makes sure that the DOM is not modified when running promise document flushed, and that should be able to land and hopefully stick. So what else did I want to work on today? Well, I got a couple of bugs related to the privileged content process. This is a content process that we have created specifically for pages like the new tab page, this thing, and other about pages that have access to more things than web content probably should have. Like your new tab page has access to like page thumbs on the disk and your favorites and your places database because it's trying to show you things that you might want to get back to. So we have that separate content process, and it's on nightly right now, but apparently when it's on, if you so if you like go here, if you put something in the URL bar and you hit home, yeah, the URL bar is not cleared. URL bar input is not cleared, and that's a problem. It is on the second click, but on the first click, oh, and it is in subsequent clicks. But if I were to be at some website and then like I do this, and we cause the process flip, that's when it doesn't get cleared. Okay. And I think that's also probably true if I were to set about home to be like about add-ons. If I made about add-ons my home page, then I'll bet you if I were like blah, 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 and then I clicked home, oh, well, about add-ons gets filled out. What if I made like about blank my home page? Whoops. About blank. No, about blank's a bad choice too. About new tab? Because about new tab is different from about home. Yes. So then I go to like cbc.ca, and I type some stuff, and I hit home, and yeah, it stays around, and then it goes away in a second click. So that's one bug. I'm going to reset my home page now. I know it's already, it's in the right place, but home page, Firefox Home default. So that's all done, these tests. So let us commit this change. And then what I'll do, whoa, linting. What I'll do is I will pull from central and I will rebase these last two changes, the this one and this one on top of central. So what I'll do is I'll update to central and pull central and rebase that and that on top of central. Then I'll push to Fabricator and then I will land them, assuming the rebase goes cleanly. And it should. Get some pushes, some new change sets. Updating to the top, and then it's doing my rebase. And rebasing the other one. Looks good. All right, let's push that up and land it. So, tip, Moz, fab, make sure there's no updates. Moz, fab, submit to tip. Then I can mark that done. HG show off, says Smurf D. Yeah, I stacked a lot of commands all at once. Just showing off. That's probably didn't need to do all that stacking, but it felt good. So I think, is that up to date yet? What's going on here? Skip staging, linting, that part. That's okay. So it's updated the first one, which was this one. And then this is the other one, which, come on, finish the job. I want to land this stuff. Yay, I think it's done. Vision updated. Done. Done. View stack and Lando. Use to preview the landing. Yeah, it's fine. Land. Lando. And then the last thing to land that's promise document flush related is the stuff that actually outlaws mutating the DOM. Which is here. I think. Right. What's also nice about not having OBS running on this machine is that I can like look at stats in real time without completely bogging down my machine about who's watching the stream. Apparently 3 people are watching this on YouTube right now. I had 4 before. I had 6 earlier on, and then some went away, and it's been like going back and forth. It's been bouncing around. I can show you those stats right now. Like where, oh, stream within a stream. But check it out. Those are my stats. Not too many people watching right now, too. But on Twitch, I think it's probably a different story. Let me just quickly check it out. 4 people are watching on Twitch. And then how many people are watching on Air Mozilla? Unknown. Oh, at least 2. At least 2. So we got about 10 people watching the stream right now, if I've done my math correctly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or maybe it's 8. It's 8 to 10 because the YouTube was fluctuating a little bit. So yeah, hi everybody. Thanks for being here. And thanks for watching my stream that's all new and shiny. All right, so that's merging and taking its sweet time. Hit merge conflicts. I think I know why. We can deal with that in just a sec. I think it's because I reordered some commits and I had to like take some stuff from one commit and put it in the other before and I didn't rebase properly, and so I have a feeling I know what's wrong. and we can fix it. Oh, boop, boop, boop. Don't forget, if this, like, let me know how this stream went. If you're watching the live stream, let me know in the agenda. There's this like link to rate the episode, and that's very handy for me to know. Maybe you're not in IRC, maybe you're not watching Twitch, but you want to, and you're not in the Twitch chat, but you want to let me know how things are going. This forum is how you can let me know whether or not the stream lagged, or what the video quality is like. Is the volume too loud? Is it too soft? Let me know. And I'll adjust for next time. I'll also watch the recording. And we will see. What else? Did this end up landing? Let's reload here. Landing was queued. Still queued. Oh, the gecko tree is closed. Autoland is closed right now. Autoland is closed because waiting for test coverage. Okay. And this rebase really taken a while to hit that merge conflict. Don't know what's up there. But meanwhile, let's think about our next bug, which is that about home one. I actually have some notes because I'd looked at it before like the holidays. I think actually in November, or I don't remember, but apparently my notes say that URL bar set URI seems to be the most important part here. You don't go through the on location changed part here during a async tab switch or due to a remoteness flip. So we don't run this stuff. We need to clear the typed value if the document failed to load to make sure the URL bar reflects the failed URI, and that's in an on location change. Because we don't get an on location change if we've switched remoteness. Why not? Seems like, okay, so first let's resolve our conflicts here. And yes, they are in the test. So let's go to the test. Promise document flushed. Right. Because it wasn't expecting this other test to be here. So I will put this here, and then that should be enough. HG resolve mark browser promise document flushed. Continue the rebase, and then we'll let her ride. Roboto says, hello, is it me or are you dropping frames? And It's Bulk says he's dropping frames and audio for me. That blows. I'm sorry that I'm dropping frames. I think I need a more powerful machine doing the actual capture here. I don't know what my solution is going to be, but I'm going to find a way of doing it. I'm going to find a more powerful machine to do that job. So, yeah, audio is fine, but for me, the video is stuttering. It says, Robobabato. Robobabato. All right. And Near94 is like, the same for me, yo. I don't know if he actually said it that way. But unfortunately, the video is stuttering. I apologize. Hopefully for next time, I think I'm going to have to just switch to a more powerful machine. I'll find a more powerful device to connect to OBS and do the encoding. Maybe it would help if I didn't record at the same time on the machine. And that might be possible if there's a way for me to download the stream after it's been uploaded to AirMozilla. Food for thought. Food for thought. All right. So now that we've resolved the conflict, let's actually do a build. Hopefully this build won't take too long, but I'd like to run the build, or run a build and run the test. And in the meantime, we can think through this other issue, which is about the on location change bit. Ooh, Autoland just opened up apparently. I got that a notification in the corner of my screen. That would probably help actually. I wonder if part of the issue is that this is not. Yeah, I think I needed to do that. Now I'm just gonna rearrange my windows. And the reason I wanted to do that was because now this is the desktop, the primary desktop. I hadn't done that before. All right, so I bring all these over. Sorry everybody, sorry. I didn't mean to bore you with all this stuff that's not related. Keep that there, and then bring my browser over here. Okay. So the question is, how come we don't enter on location change after a remoteness flip? So on location change is called via location change is called because, like, this structure that we're looking at is this thing called a tab progress listener. And a tab progress listener is created here, and then we connect it, and then we add it to the browser. And so our, I think the underlying, what's called the remote web progress.jsm is what's responsible in the parent process for proxying stuff from content up to the parent, these like location change events. So the question is, how come after a remoteness flip this doesn't fire? Or if it does fire, how come tab browser doesn't react to it? So the remoteness stuff, update browser remoteness happens here. And one of the first things we do is we take the listener, the tab progress listener, and we remove it and we destroy the old one. And then we set up a new one. We set up a new one here. We create a new one. And then simulated true final argument security change. Tab progress listener. Let's take a look at that again. Security change. State change. On location change, the way it works is we only run the stuff if it's top level. And there's no ignoring, I think. Even if we don't run it, we ignore the first blank load, we will still note the location change. So that's the thing I want to understand, is like how that's all working. How come? So we can actually maybe we can try that right now in my current instance of Firefox. I'm going to open up the browser toolbox for debugging stuff. See if it works the first time. Sometimes it does. Yay, it did. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a breakpoint at the on location change of in the remote web progress. On location change. We're going to put a breakpoint there. And then I'm also going to put a breakpoint inside tab browser for the remoteness flipping. Update browser remoteness. Like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reproduce the issue by typing a bunch of stuff in here and then hitting the home button. Home button. So now we've hit our update browser remoteness. That's good. So we hit that first. And and now I got location change. That's interesting. So let's see what's going on here. We get our location change event. Is it top level? It sure is. And what's the location? Dot spec about home. Good. That's what we wanted. This is expected. And then we're going to call progress listener. So I'm going to go back over here and find the on location change tab progress listener. So hopefully we enter here. Next, yep. Is it top level? It sure should be. So we enter here. Is same document, is reload, and is error page. So let's see what those values are. Is same document. False. Is error page. False. And did load since last user typing. So we have to match at least some of these values. So mbrowser.did start load since last user typing. No. Is error page is false. Is same document is false. So all of these things are going to be false. So we'll never enter here. And so we'll never clear the user type value. And that's the bug. Now what is expected? That's my next question. So I'm going to hit play. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit home again and see what we normally do. Location change. Where am I? Yeah, okay. Then I'm here. I'm going to set a breakpoint here. Now let's take a look at what these values are. Is same document? False. Is reload? False. Is error page? False. Did start load since last user typing? False. So when do we enter this at all? False. Huh. So we don't clear it there. When do we clear the URL bar? So maybe I was wrong about where it occurred. Where does the clearing of the URL bar occur? It's about clearing the fav icon. Doot, taking a while. Just building all this Rust stuff in the background. Servo. Bunch of Rust stuff. Now, what is the stack? Location URL bar set URI happens at 4863 inside on location change. So I was too far up maybe. Tab browse. Oh, now what are you saying? Continue. Here, and then URL bar set URI is here. Said continue. And if it doesn't sort itself out in the next couple of seconds, I'm going to stop debugging, reconnect, and then set a debug breakpoint right here. Because apparently what's going on is if we enter, it's not, oh, that's in state change. No. I want inside on location change, not state change. So stop script. Enough. Disconnect. My stack was on location change at 4863. Now that was a while ago. I suspect things have greatly changed. Oh, it was maybe a different on location change. On location change inside browser.js. Oh. So inside this on location change, this is where we're failing to do this, I think. Huh. Okay, so let's set a new breakpoint there. Meanwhile, building stylo. Frustratingly, my computer is being really slow. Python, is it because I'm doing all the building? Because I'm doing all the building. Firefox Nightly is also taking on the CPU. I wonder if I'm going to open up about performance and find out which tab it is. Oop. Let's clear some breakpoints. Don't want these anymore. What's taking on my CPU? Probably this tab. I'm going to take out that tab. I think it was my monitoring tab. At any rate, let's not get too distracted. Browser.js. And we're going to look for on location change. And then we're going to set a breakpoint here. Now, interestingly, that cleared things, and I did not enter this breakpoint at all. So I'm going to try something new. I'm going to say URL bar bindings, and then before set value. What was it? On before value set. On before value set. Okay. But I'm going to disable it first because I'm going to put in a value. I'm going to re-enable this. And we hit our breakpoint. And what's the stack? It's here. It's lower down inside URL bar set URI. From there, the value is computed to be blank. And that's why we set it to nothing. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to set a breakpoint here. And I'm going to continue. And I'm going to go to cbc.ca. It doesn't like it because I think it's gotten confused about breakpoints. So I'm going to just detach the debugger, and I think I've completely hosed my browser. So I'm going to restart my browser. 1 second. And it opened on the wrong display. So interesting. All right. Everything's pretty sluggish with this build in the background. I thought things would get better with OBS now running on the same machine, but running a build is still pretty torturous. It's not this bad whenever I'm running it on my desk. I don't know why. Okay, so let's open up our breakpoint collection here. Yeah, this is where we want to have the breakpoint set, but I'm going to remove that breakpoint right now. I'm going to send us to cbc.ca. Good old CBC. Now I'm going to put that breakpoint back. And then I'm going to go blah, 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 blah. And hit home. So, actually, let's put let's figure out what the computed value is. So value starts with value is that value. Value, is it null? No. Is it the initial page? No. Is different valid value? Yes. So then it continues to be ASDF. All right. Now let's click this again. User typed value. Null. Aha. So let's write that down. In the good case, so the issue seems to be rooted at URL bar set URI inside browser.js. In the good case, the gbrowser user typed value is null, whereas in the bad case, it's the value that's in the URL bar. Now, how does that value become null, and why isn't that happening in the good case, or in the bad case, I should say? So let's go back to the CBC. To the CBC. And the question is, how come the user type value is null? So let's go to tabbrowser.js where the user type value is set. Can I add a watch? I need like a watch point, watch expression. mbrowser.userTypeValue. Is there inside browser custom element inside the binding user typed value? Yeah, there's a setter. That's great. That's great. That helps. So we'll see who sets it. So that's being set right now. I'm gonna disable that breakpoint. So great. Every time I type stuff in, user type value is set. And I hit here, and it's being set again due to the update browser remoteness. It is being set on this line here, 1690. We're restoring the old user typed value. And then I crashed. Probably because I hit some kind of timeout. Okay, so let's write that down. In the bad case, inside update browser remoteness, we're updating the user typed value here. Let's get a link to it. User typed value. So here, hello. Oh, I'm hitting a breakpoint. Right. Continue. Breakpoint, or not breakpoint. Link. In the good case, the user typed value is getting cleared here. So let's set our breakpoint again. Well, let's hook up our all right, we're about to reproduce the good case. What's gbrowser user typed value? Oh, it's null now. So it was already null. So it becomes null after the fact. So it's already null. Now, assuming that it doesn't get set again, val, it's being set to null from where? On location change. Oh, that place where I tracked it before. User type value becomes null. Let's go back to the CVC. Yeah, continue. User, what's the current user type value? Is null. And what's val? Null. Okay, so it's becoming null. Now I'm gonna set the user type value to be like all that stuff. I'm gonna add another character to just double check. Val. Yep. So the user type value is that long string. I hit home. User type value is going to become that long string again. And it never gets blanked out. So now the user type value how did the user type value get set to null? User type value. Because the selected browser's user typed value that's another thing I want to look at. Okay, let's go back. What's the value? Null. Okay, I'm gonna add some user type value here. Breakpoint back. Okay, and so the val is that. Now I'm gonna set an expando on myself. What am I? I'm this browser. I'm gonna set an expando and I'm gonna say mconley equals true on this browser element. And my value is that string. All right. Now I'm going to hit play. And I'm going to go home. Now I'm getting the user type value. I am mconley. I'm going to return my user type value. User typed value. Oh, in this case, I shouldn't have set this mconley on myself because I'm the tab browser. I'm supposed to set it on the browser. This dot selected browser dot mconley equals true. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, and then I'm going to delete this mconley to remove confusion. Okay, so now I'm getting that value. gbrowser dot user typed value. This dot selected browser dot user typed value is null. Selected browser dot mconley is undefined. So we have a new browser, that's why. So the new browser's user type value is null. So it's unclear to me why the whole lifetime of these user type values is like what is. So good, the user type value is getting cleared. It's not getting cleared. Well, is that the user type values should be set inside of tab browser. Excuse me, inside update browser remoteness, we get the old user typed value, and then we set it here. So what I'll do actually, let's go to update browser remoteness, and we're gonna, yeah, we have a nice breakpoint there. We're gonna, I don't know why I wasn't hitting it before. I'm actually gonna disable it now though. We're gonna go CBC, set our breakpoint, put in some nonsense, hit home, hit our breakpoint. And now I want to see what happens when we set. So we get the old user type value. And now I hang. This is brutal. I'll bet you this build's gonna finish just in time for this this stream to end. All right, so actually where I want to put my close that one because I think it's broken. Where is the rest of the script, yo? If it seems like I'm frustrated, I am a little bit. This is supposed to be so much faster, but I think building will always be a pain. Just gonna have to get used to that. Update browser remoteness, right, and that's where I've got my breakpoint, and then I'm going to ignore that. Where are this thing? I want to do that. That's where I want my breakpoint. Disable this one. So let's go to the CBC. So the gbrowser selected browser user type value should be null. What are you doing? It's null. And then gbrowser.userTypedValue should also be null. And then I put all that stuff in there. Hit home. Okay. So old user typed value. I crash. What? Oh man. I think I'm gonna have to like do some logging or something. Logging might be easier. Where is this? Lots of clang, lots of rust. Every core is just maxed out building. I think I'm going to end this stream here. I think the experiment has kind of proven itself in that I can capture from this device. There are a couple of learnings about the new setup. Some people were experiencing choppy video. OBS on the streaming device was complaining that encoding was overloaded. Perhaps don't record while streaming, or perhaps use a more powerful machine for streaming. What else? Anything else? Otherwise, can't hear sound effects. Maybe run Wacky Morning DJ on streaming device, and then have headset connected to it. All right, that's what I learned anyways. Also, building is still a pain. What the dealio? I wonder if it's just because I'm like not hitting any of my caches. Read misses. An average read miss is almost a minute. That's crazy. Huh. All right. Well, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching episode 162 of The Joy of Coding. Sorry if that went not as smooth as usual. It's going to get better. It'll be okay. We'll be all right. Let me know what you thought. There's the rate this episode form here in the agenda. I read everything that comes in. Do let me know. And I will see you next week. Oh, also I noticed that I'm running a background. Maybe this isn't helping. I'm running a backup in the background. It's probably causing disk contention. Pause. That's probably my issue. Backups. Backup running. What are you talking about? Okay, so that's a thing. Don't run backups in the background. Okay, so that's a thing for next time. All right, well, thank you again so much for watching episode 162, and I will talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye. Hold on, where's Wacky Morning DJ? I gotta play the sound effect. Hold on. 1 sec. Gotta load it up. Not ending very well. Here we go. The joy of coding. See ya.